As you know, COVID 19 is over, but many small businesses are still struggling financially. Now, is there any other help available for small businesses that are still struggling financially? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Hello from Freedom Tax Accounting. We're an accounting firm where we have been providing quality tax and accounting services now for over 20 years. If you're new to this channel, we provide strategies for small business owners so they can achieve their financial goals. If that's a topic that you like, please subscribe to our channel. Now, it's 2023. Many small businesses are still struggling due to COVID, but all the COVID 19 help that was available from the SBA, like the PPP program and the EIDL, they're over. Now, is there anything left for small business owners to get additional funds towards their business? To talk about that, I'm going to bring my coworker Carmen. Hello, Carmen. How are you?
Hello, Carlos. Doing great. Thank you. How about you?
Good. Thank God. So,
Amen.
Carmen, as we all know, many small businesses are still looking for a way for financial help for their small business. PPP is over. There's no more SBA loans.
hmm
Is there anything available that they can get?
Well, the employee retention tax credit is still on the table. Thankfully, this credit is a very good credit. All you got to do is make sure that you qualify. But if you get it, it's a fantastic credit. And yes, you can still get it.
Okay. Now, is the employee retention tax credit, is it from the SBA, or where does the employee retention tax credit come from?
It is not from the SBA. It's just a credit that the IRS has written law, right, into effect to help small businesses. It's a credit that literally refunds you for the wages that you continue to pay for retaining employees during the what everyone knows as the COVID period, right? It starts from March 13th, 2020, all the way through September 30 of 2021.
Okay, so anyone who wants to get the employee retention tax credit, they can still apply for it now in 2023.
Yes, it sounds a little bit confusing, but yes, even though the period that is eligible, right, to look at and calculate this credit upon has passed, you can still go back retroactively and claim, reassess your situation. You may think that you did not qualify for this. Maybe in the beginning you thought it you were not eligible, but now time has passed, the laws have changed, the dust has settled, and now a lot of people realize that they do qualify for this, and we can help you determine that, and we can go back, we could claim it retroactively.
Okay, so what is the deadline to apply for the employee retention tax credit?
Okay, so you can go back retroactively 3 years from the due date of the original filing, right? So if you're looking at the second quarter of 2020, right? The second quarter is filed, it's April, May, and June that it covers, but it's filed in July. July 31st of 2020 was the deadline. So you have 3 years from July 31st, 2020 to claim the credit for second quarter 2020. So you have 3 years to go back.
Okay, and to make sure this credit is available for those small businesses or businesses that had employees in payroll.
Correct. That's the
Those
key word, payroll. Yes.
exactly.
So this doesn't mean a business that paid subcontractors. It means people that were paying people that were on payroll and that got W-2s at the end of the year.
Okay, not self-employed.
Not self-employed. Self-employed people get 1099s and those are not considered employees.
Okay, perfect. So you've been working with the ERTC now over 2 years now.
Mhm.
How much money can people get with this credit?
I mean, a lot. It just depends.
Mhm.
It depends on the size of the company, how many employees are there, how much they earn. But you can earn 50% of qualified wages or 70% of qualified wages. That can be a lot if you have a
Yeah.
lot of people on payroll. I mean, we're talking easily 150, $200,000 in credit that you don't have to pay back. It's a credit.
Okay. Now, we've seen lately a lot of new promotions that are going around. All of a sudden, they're popping up everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Social media, email blasts about a lot of other companies starting to offer this service.
Correct.
We need to warn people that they need to be careful because there's a lot of scams going around. Okay,
Yeah.
so why do people need to be careful who they choose to apply for this credit? Because this is serious. This can have serious consequences if not done correctly.
That is correct. I mean, I don't think you should play around with anything that has to do with the IRS
Exactly.
in general, right? But this is a credit due to the nature of the credit and how much you can get back. It is so tempting for people to just go with whomever can promise them that they're going to get them back X amount of money. But since the client, the taxpayer, doesn't really understand fully how the credit works, they're kind of at the mercy of these places that are just, telling them that they can get them X amount of money, and it sounds amazing. So they pay them and they go ahead and do it, but they're not even sure how this is calculated. You need to make sure that whoever you're going to is a reputable, uh, a professional, right? Not just somebody that learned how to do this online quickly and is just doing it with nothing on the line, nothing at stake. They have nothing to lose really and everything to gain. You have to be so careful because these credits, a lot like every other help that was out there for COVID, the point was to get money in people's hands. And people got PPP funds quickly. They got the EIDL loans relatively quickly. They're credits that you apply for them, and the IRS is so overwhelmed with the amount of applications that they have, and the amendments get requesting this credit, that they're just processing them and they're sending you the check. And just because they send you the check doesn't mean that they did it right, that it was calculated correctly.
Exactly.
These credits are no doubt going to be audited. They're going to look back once the dust further settles and they have enough time to make it through all of these requests. They're going to go back and audit and make sure that they were calculated on the right merits. And that documentation is going to be key, because if you have no documentation, they will not give you the benefit of the doubt. You are going to have to pay the same amount of money that you were so happy you got in the first place. Imagine having to pay that back
With penalties.
with penalties. And
Exactly.
it's a domino effect because we're going back retroactive. Now, this is going to have implications not only because you're going to get the credit, and that's wonderful, but you're going to have to amend those taxes at the end of the year, whether you file a Schedule C, a 1065, an 1120S, an 1120. You're going to have to amend whatever year you got the credit for. If it was 2020, that tax year will have to be amended to reflect that credit. You're going to have to reduce the deduction that you took for salaries and wages. So imagine going through all that, paying somebody to do the credit, getting it, amending your taxes, potentially even amending personal taxes if it's a flow through entity,
Hmm.
only to then figure out it was done wrong and have to amend it back and pay back the credit
Yeah.
plus interest plus penalties. No
Yeah.
fun.
That's what I've
Wouldn't wish that
seen.
on anybody.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot of these companies that are offering this service, they're not CPAs, they're
Hmm.
not tax professionals. They just learn how to apply for the credit, but they don't explain to their clients that they need to amend their past taxes
Hmm.
to do this right.
Yep.
And that's why it's very important to work with a professional that knows what it's doing and all the extra consequences that it
Correct.
can bring up, because you want to know, okay, I'm going to get this amount of money, but if it's worth it, because
Correct.
you have to amend your tax return, that may result in now you owing more
More
taxes.
taxes.
So you
Hmm.
need to know if it's even worth it.
Correct.
So that's the importance of working with a professional. Okay, so Carmen, let's say, when is the last day people can apply for the ERTC?
Well, the
What's the
last
deadline?
possible the last possible quarter you can get it for is the third quarter of 2021, which was due October 31st, 2021. So you have until October 31st, 2020
Okay.
25, sorry.
Okay.
3 years from that date. You have 3 years to go back in
Okay.
order to be able to claim it.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. So now you know the employee retention tax credit is still available. You can apply for it, but if you want it, make sure you work with a professional that knows all the implication this credit comes with, because you're playing with taxes and you're playing with IRS money, basically. So make
Correct.
sure you do it correctly. All right,
Yes.
Carmen, thank you.
Just want to clarify,
Yeah.
you have until October 31st, 2024. Sorry, it didn't
Okay.
come out correctly and I said 5. It's 24.
Okay. So you have 3 years
Yes.
from
The due date.
the end of the tax year you want the credit for.
In this case, it's done quarterly, and the quarter
Okay.
ended with the third quarter of 2021, which was due October 31st, 2021. Okay.
Okay.
So you have 3 years from that date.
Okay. Perfect. Better now.
All right.
Well, now you know the ERTC is available. You can call us. We're doing it. Call us at 473441012. Make an appointment with Carmen. She is our ERTC expert, and she's doing an awesome job. And she has been able to get thousands of dollars for our accounting clients. And also remember that we are in tax season. If you need help with your personal taxes, your corporate taxes, we can help you with that as well. If you want a discount coupon, go to freedomtaxfl.com. Thank you and God bless.